let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
In a world where we're cynical about everything and we can't all agree on one thing, it did seem like the sports watching public agreed almost unanimously, if not unanimously, last night that the Major League All-Star Game is awesome. And I was happy to see it. I was very, very happy to see us all say, actually, this is great. Major League Baseball does a great job with it. Baseball has the best All-Star Game by far. It's American as hell. It honors its past. Shout out to the Hank Aaron tribute. It showcases its future. It doesn't, for the most part, I suppose, until if the game's tied through 9 innings, feel like an exhibition. And it feels like the best of the sport. It might be, I was thinking this while I was watching it last night, it might be baseball's biggest stage. You know, people think the playoffs and the World Series, and I'm sure that those get better TV ratings, but that takes place in the wash of football season. It gets lost. You know, we don't really talk about the World Series much on our shows because we're talking about football.
There was a walk-off grand slam in a game between the Dodgers and the Yankees.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was definitively awesome.
But I don't know how much we talked about it.
Probably not much. Because Nebraska beat Rutgers.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Really had to break that one down.
It was a couple weeks after that, I think. Because the week Nebraska beat Rutgers was the Royals-Yankees week, and I was freaked out about that one. But it might be baseball's biggest stage. And I think they do an excellent job with it. There's baseball is sort of poisoned with all of these conversations about the future of the game. And right now we have this ongoing sort of labor disputes and, you know, what's going to happen. Is this good for the game? Is this bad for the game? Pitch clock and challenges and robot umpires. And, you know, in the past it's been steroids and whatever it might be. So all those conversations kind of come to a head a little bit this week. But then when the baseball game's on, it's awesome. It's by far the best All-Star game. Glad that they made them wear the real jerseys from the real teams last night. That absolutely continued to elevate the game even further. And I would be surprised if it wasn't the most watched All-Star game for, you know, over the last couple of years. They've been sitting around 7 or so million over the last few. I would imagine last night
as
did
the
itself
game got
pretty well.
Closer and closer, I'm sure more and more people tuned in. And
it was long. It went a little bit late.
Went late. I think it got over at 11 Eastern.
But yeah, it was 11. It was 11 Central.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was just shy of 11 before I stopped watching because I wanted to see who they gave the MVP to, and by that time it was right about 11 o'clock.
Okay,
so it was probably 10:45 ish when the game ended. And it ended, of course, in a swing off.
Of course.
Now, everyone definitely knew that as the game was going on, and nobody thought to think, hey, if there's a tie, what happens?
Well, I thought that because in the 9th or whatever, the Dave Roberts put in Edwin Diaz from the Mets, and they made a point to say Dave Roberts goes to his last pitcher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what? That's how we got in this whole mess.
You budget for 9. That's what happens. They weren't going to play another inning and have Ohtani pitch. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
They weren't going to make Tarek Skubal put his clothes back on.
Now, I didn't go the extra mile and go, okay, what's the process of extra innings? I just assumed, hey, Edwin, you're going to go out there. You're probably going to give up 3 or 4 runs, but it's okay because the game will be over.
So apparently, Major League Baseball had the rules posted on their website for the All-Star game and what happens in this exact scenario. It reads, or it read, if all of this indeed comes to pass, the game in the record books would be considered a tie with the notation that one league defeated the other in a home run swing-off, and there would be no winning or losing pitcher. Additionally, the All-Star Game MVP award would be based on what happened in the 9-inning game. That was apparently erased The last sentence of that was apparently erased from the rules because the MVP was given to Kyle Schwarber, who went 3 swings, 3 home runs, and got 0 hits in the 9-inning game last night. If they would have done it based on the 9-inning game, the MVP probably would have been Pete Alonso, who had a 3-run home run.
I would think so.
In the game last night, but it was Kyle Schwarber. And so there's some conversation about that is going on today. But I mean, it doesn't count for anything. And you don't want to call it a tie. I think they could have probably sped that part of it up a little bit. We didn't need the Verducci interview before every guy that came up.
Hey, you're about to go up there. What do you think?
But it was cool.
Yeah.
It was dramatic. And it was, Aranda, as much as we make fun of Jonathan Aranda for being in the swing off here, which he probably shouldn't have been because he of the Tampa Bay Rays got placed in the swing off and was the third batter. So everything came down to him last night, but he did hit one like off the wall, like 4 feet shy of going over the fence and tying the derby.
He's got 11 home runs this year.
Yeah, 11. It's pretty good.
It's a number.
So apparently the managers, Dave Robertson, Aaron Boone, had to declare who they were going to choose for this on Monday, the day before the All-Star game. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know, but apparently that's how it went. And for some reason, Aaron Boone chose Jonathan Aranda. Maybe he's killed the Yankees this year or something like that. I suppose that's possible. But that's the guys that they ended up with instead of some of the stars of the game. And there's good reason behind that, right? You wanted to have a guy that was in the game at the time, but you did have a few more options as of some stars that you could have put out there in that situation.
And like we said in the crossover, I think it was probably, okay, I'll put 3 names on this sheet. What are the odds it will matter?
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, he's not going to come out after the game and say that, right? And boy, this is a lot like when I was a child and I would watch wrestling on Saturday mornings and Hulk Hogan would wrestle in the first match of the night. And I would go, hey, Dad, that's weird. Wouldn't you want like the biggest star wrestling at the end of the night?
Would have thought.
And I would go, and my dad or someone would sit down and tell me, oh, son, he wants to get the hell out of Biloxi, Mississippi. He doesn't want to be there.
Yep.
So he wrestles first and then gets the hell out of there. He's not backstage watching the other guys work very hard at their craft.
Do not tempt Major League Baseball players with 3 days off.
Yes. Even
they will take it.
Several members of the Yankees, whose next game is in Atlanta.
Now, to their credit, though, they do get, everybody who gets nominated considers it to be an honor, and they go, right? They show up. At least they play in the game. The same cannot be said for a couple of the other sports that I'm thinking of at the top of my head right now. So it does still seem like an honor for the players to be there. And I think once they're there, they enjoy the camaraderie and all of that stuff. And I think it makes for a really good product. It's hard to fake a baseball game, right? They're going to play and they want to put on a show, and you put a pitcher out there for an inning and the guy's capable of throwing 100. You're damn right he's going to throw 100. Or if you're Jacob Bizarowski, you're going to throw a 99-mile-an-hour slider last night. Kind of just ridiculous stuff. The reactions from each of the dugouts after that was hilarious. They were just like, what are we supposed to do about this kid? What are we supposed to do?
He's pitched 5 games.
The Hank Aaron tribute was phenomenal.
So I was beside myself during the pregame.
Yeah, because they didn't do anything.
And I was told it was
7:15 and 7:15.
They said there was an on-field tribute to Hank Aaron, and I just assumed it was before the game. And I was like, oh, did they just run out of time and canceled it? Geez, what a great look, baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. But I kind of sat on it in case, like,
so you got mad.
In case I kind of missed it, and like, I didn't want to look like an idiot. Like, no, Josh, they did it already.
And then all of a sudden, bang! I think it was 5th inning. They come back and the lights are out, and
Vin Scully's telling me about history and race relations in America, and
a firework is shooting off from home
Whoa.
plate into left center field, and
there's a spotlight.
yeah. I mean, incredibly well done.
Photos of Hank Aaron's wife.
Incredibly well done.
Oh.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. So that's the thing that baseball does best. They honor their history. They talk about their history. They talk about their past players. They do a really good job with that. They don't become these like, it doesn't turn into this like, oh, but yeah, Paul Skeens would dominate that guy today.
Right.
That's what it becomes in the other sports, in the NFL and the NBA. It's like if you put like Bill Russell out there, they're like, yeah, but Kobe would kill him, or whatever it might be, or whoever, Jokic would run circles around that guy right now. That's how it becomes in those sports. In baseball, we don't do that because I think there's a great appreciation for baseball's history, and that has to be accepted amongst the baseball players, and they do a good job with that. It's a culture.
Did you watch the pregame and see friend of the show, Austin Butler? No. Now is obsessed with Shohei Ohtani. So
I did not. What happened with him?
He narrated something about
as Elvis,
the stars of the game. Well, no, it was just as Austin Butler, but I expect him in his next interview to be like, I can't stop talking like Shohei.
I love Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei. And Freddie Freeman, the Dodgers stars.
I didn't see any Austin Butler, and I was pretty okay with it.
Did Mookie Betts not make this game? Is he okay? Is he injured? Did he decline?
I don't think anybody declined.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know what happened with him. Maybe he didn't make it.
Sorry, I know we're kind of supposed to be lawyers and not ask questions we don't know the answers to.
Maybe he didn't make it. Maybe he didn't make it. I mean, I just never pay attention to who's making it because everybody makes it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that baseball could probably afford to do a little bit better.
I guess let me look at the box score. I don't think he played in the game, right?
Here is Caleb from the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, Caleb.
Now, this is I have an opinion, but we're talking about the All-Star game, so I'm going to bring it up here.
Bring it.
The All-Star game was entertaining, and I do not care what the baseball purist thinks. The swing-off was different and a fun approach. It reminded me, of shootouts in soccer and hockey. Well, yeah, to your point, Caleb, the purists of the sports don't necessarily love those things either. Do whatever the hell you want in the All-Star game. Whatever you feel like is appropriate. Like I felt like they did it. They did it fine. There was probably some kinks to work out because it was the first time it ever happened. But as far as who's in it and the pace of it and all that stuff. But yeah, I have no problem with the idea. It's an exhibition game. Now, if it counts for something, which it doesn't anymore, if it counts for something,
if
then
that was for home field advantage in the World Series,
probably a little bit of a different story. There would have been a conversation about it today. But I don't think anybody has a problem with what happened.
I was just about to ask that. Did anybody speak out like this is dumb? Like I'm sure the Mad Dogs and the Wilbons of the world will go, that was stupid. It was not baseball.
Yeah,
but
they're doing a bit.
That's my Mad Dog. What do you think?
Pretty good.
But
he's no Francesa though.
I didn't see anybody last night. Even the people who started like, this is a dumb way to decide your All-Star game. Even they came around by the second round. We're like, okay, this is pretty high drama.
Yeah, at the end of the day, who cares?
Yeah.
You're tied after 9 innings, and let's find out a way to wrap this thing up and get a conclusion out of it.
Mookie Betts did not make the All-Star team.
And then there is there's another thing that baseball has done really well, and it's probably the only sport you could do this really well in. As I've talked about a lot before, it is the mic'd up stuff. In fact, they've started to mic up the pitchers over the last couple years.
Great bit.
They don't seem to care much. They're like, this is weird, but they don't seem to care much. Tarek Skubal didn't really bring anything to the table.
He did not.
Except for the broadcaster, Smoltz and Joe Davis were trying to egg him on to challenge stuff, and he did, and got a strikeout on a challenge in his inning.
I will parrot what Stibbs said last night. Let's maybe not mic up the catcher whose mouth is pressed up against a pad.
Yeah, but if you get an F-bomb in there, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like imagine if you're Tarek Skubal or if you're Cal Raleigh, you're the pitcher or the catcher in this situation. You have Ohtani at the plate. Maybe you feel like you have him beat, and then he just sticks the bat out there and he lobs one over shortstop. You're like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this guy?
Yeah. And then
That's why baseball is the most frustrating thing to ever do.
Acuna's right behind him and does a very similar thing.
Yeah. So Scooble in the All-Star game, not so good. A couple of bloops went against him. But like I said, baseball does the mic'd up stuff really well. And so if you didn't see it last night, or if you weren't watching last night, I wanted to play. This is basically the entirety of Clayton Kershaw's outing. It didn't last very long. He was mic'd up almost the entire time, and will go all the way until he gets taken. It's just a couple minutes here, but Clayton Kershaw playing in likely his final All-Star game. He was a commissioner exemption.
6 pitches
to this game, and he takes you through his process, quote unquote, a little bit. Once again, it's not an important thing. He's kind of just messing around, but it was cool to get this insight. Here's Clayton Kershaw last night.
And we're actually going to get to talk baseball with Clayton. I can't believe you're doing this, Clayton.
I can't either. I'm going to try to throw some cheese real quick. Hold on.
Cal Raleigh puts it in the air to left field. And a sliding catch by Kyle Tucker.
That was sick.
Easy.
That was sick.
Kyle Tucker now with the Cubs, enjoying a great season and enjoying a great catch.
I think this might be my last batter, guys.
That was sweet.
Yeah, how hard was that one? 91?
It was an out.
It was an out. All right, we're going cheese again.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. I mean, you and Paul Skeens are pretty much the same guy.
Right down the middle. I'm so glad he didn't swing. Okay, I'm going curveball here.
Okay.
Oh, that was short.
What now? Double up.
All right, now I think I probably got to go slider. Let's think what Will thinks, but I think I got to go slider here. No, he wants curveball again. All right, fine. Oh, got him.
Uncle Charlie.
Okay. What do you want? Smoltzy, what do you want?
Cutter in. Slider in.
I don't throw a cutter.
He doesn't slider in.
Slider.
Cutter.
Son of a.
Gonna make him mad.
That was short.
How about this splitty? Break out the splitty.
All right, what's the count? 2-2?
Yeah,
this
2-2.
is so weird talking to you guys.
It's kind of
Holy
weird for
cow.
us, too. Hey, sit him down.
I think that might be it.
I think that's it. And Clayton, what a year, buddy. What a career. And what a moment. Soak it in.
Thanks, brother. All right. Thanks. Thanks, dude. Attaboy. Thanks, guys. That was fun. That was fun. Thank you. Thanks, dude. Thanks, brother. That was fun. All right.
That's yours.
Do I keep it?
That's yours. You keep it.
All right.
That's yours. Well done, Chris.
Thanks, guys. All right.
One of the greatest that ever lived right there, Clayton Kershaw.
Hey, that was fun, guys. Thanks for talking.
You're the best, 22.
Hey.
Pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Thanks, dude.
Gee, I wonder if Clayton Kershaw's coming back next year.
Feels like he's retired.
Maybe even today.
I guess I haven't watched him much lately.
It looked like that was tough for him.
I didn't realize his fastball was topping out at 89.
It looked like he was laboring was the word that came to mind.
You got your 2 outs on 6 pitches. Vladdy was way ahead of that curveball. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was
one of the best parts of the game for sure last night. Like I said, I'm excited to see the ratings of that and exactly how it looks, but it just feels like that's baseball's biggest stage, and they do it really, really well. The colors and the honoring of the past and all that stuff.
The pregame ceremonies, the announcing the lineups.
God bless America guy.
Yeah.
Even though they had to get him a new microphone.
That guy's great.
That guy's awesome. He's fantastic. Yeah, it was really good. One more quick thing on baseball before we get to Mitch here. So another thing that had been talked about this week is Olympic baseball. The Olympics are coming to the United States in 2028. Olympic baseball is on the docket, and Rob Manfred had some comments this week about allowing Major League players to play. And he said it's something that he might push for. He said it is possible to play. Now, there's also a question of logistics here. Now, what the plan is, apparently, is that they're going to have a bit of a longer break when the Olympics. So the Olympics and the All-Star Game are going to be happening at the same time in 2028. And they haven't decided where they're going to put the All-Star Game in 2028. But it sounds like they want to put it on the West Coast because that's where the Olympics are going to be based in Los Angeles.
Chavez
So
Levine.
put the All-Star Game. They said they're going to have baseball Olympics there. So the plan is reportedly to have the 2028 All-Star Game in San Francisco. And
That's why that came. Okay.
And baseball is going to have reportedly as much as a couple weeks off. Major League Baseball is going to have a couple weeks off so their best players could participate in the Olympics and then have a regular-ish sort of all-star break as well.
Yeah, do it.
It won't happen on the second Tuesday or whatever of the month, but they're going to it sounds like Major League Baseball is pushing to allow their players to do this, which I would imagine the players would be all in for. Less workload on them, but there would have to be accommodations that would have to be made, including either moving the season up or pushing it back a little bit to accommodate for that 2-week break of Major League Baseball games in the middle, which is sort of fascinating. Olympic baseball,
move it up one on the front end, push it back one on the back end.
Olympic baseball with Major League players in America. I mean, think of the World Baseball Classic and all the excitement that there was around that last year.
Yeah. This is a slam dunk
times
idea.
15.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be, there would be heavy participation in that and significant enjoyment in it from the baseball community.
I think the basketball will and like the gymnastics and the swimming will always be like the highest rated thing, but that would be certainly
America would eat that up.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a world, it wouldn't be as big of a world event, but it would be a huge American event.
That World Baseball Classic final,
Japan,
it was like 90% of televisions in Japan were watching that.
Yeah.
Like just an astronomical
I would assume it's
number.
the same thing in the Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing in Mexico and whatever it might be. Yeah.
You watch the home run derby. I mean, baseball too, but you saw all those Dominican guys like coaching up all the Dominican players in the home run derby.
Yeah. And so the USA, I mean, has obvious real life competition. It's not just the USA and everybody else like it is in basketball. It is there's 4 countries that could probably win that thing, if not more. So I think they'd get heavy participation and significant enjoyment out of doing that in 2028. But that is a few years down the line.
Randy Arozarena can play for Mexico.
Is he a Mexico guy?
They gave him citizenship so he could get out of Cuba and go to America.
Oh,
and so he played for Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic.
Interesting. Yeah, there would be those type of shenanigans as well. Vinny Pasquantino would be tweeting for Italy.
That's right.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Mitch Sherman is going to join us on the other side. We'll catch up on some Husker football topics with him. Coming up next on 1620 The Zone.